Hello and welcome, guys. Good to be back. Ron Kowalski here with Think Big, Believe Big. I know it's been a little bit. Apologize for that, but it's certainly great to be back. That being said, I want to talk about something of the utmost importance. I believe it's not necessarily maybe something new that I know we've obviously covered and maybe talked about in the past, but I do want to elaborate on because I do believe it's essentially important, and it falls along the lines of the process of manifestation, which, if you guys recall, goes a little something like this. Our thoughts lead to um, our thoughts lead to our feelings. Those feelings that we feel then lead to our actions. And then, of course, those actions are going to produce results. And the results, of course, are what we're experiencing, what we're seeing in the physical world, in the physical realm. So that being said, of course, as you can realize, everything begins with and starts with our thoughts. Our thoughts are the genesis. They're the preamble to everything. It's always going in this direction. Okay? So that said, once again, our thoughts are the preamble, the genesis to everything that we're experiencing in the physical world, the results that we're seeing. So, the reason I bring this up, of course, is I believe that we've been programmed, perhaps, to kind of look at our present results, what we've got in the past, what we have now, and we take these results and we kind of re-internalize them, and we look at them and we believe that they're going to dictate our future moving forward. We believe that they're going to dictate, and they are, that they're going to dictate what we're capable of doing moving forward. And of course, the way that this kind of happens is, once again, going through the process here, we have a thought, feeling, an action. It leads to result, and it could even go either way. Let's say the result that we are experiencing, let's say it's a negative one. Let's say it's poor performance at work, poor performance on some type of review or test or anything of that nature. What we then tend to do is, as I mentioned, re-internalize this. So we look at that result. We maybe go home from work at the end of the day. Maybe it was poor performance or whatnot. We go home and we continue to contemplate, and we're thinking and stewing on that negative outcome and result. And what is that going to lead to? Of course, let's follow down the road. It's going to lead to more negative feelings, perhaps then of course negative actions, and then boom, we're right back in the same boat where we were with a negative result. So it's essentially just a self-fulfilling prophecy whereby it's spiraling downward. We get a negative result, we re-internalize that with negative thoughts, then the actions, and once again, it just continues to spiral downwards. Maybe even taking it the other way, though. Let's say that the result, let's say it's positive, or let's say it's at least acceptable. What we then do is, moving forward, and especially if you work in a company or in a corporate environment, let's say you're in sales or whatnot, and you hit your quota or you exceeded it even. What we tend to do then is, we'll utilize that benchmark that we've hit. We'll utilize that as a benchmark and maybe tack on, say 10%, for instance. Say if you did X and your result was X, you're now capable of X plus 10 next year, and that's your quota, that's your goal, that's what we believe that you're capable of, and you as well believe, hey, Ron, that's what I think I'm capable of. I hit X this year, I think I can get X plus 10 next year. It seems like a viable goal. So once again, as I mentioned, I think maybe the fault that we're running into here is that we're looking at the results. We're looking at the physical world, and we're kind of re-internalizing that and going, as well, just kind of in a circle. We're utilizing what we can see in these results, and they're dictating our future. The reason I bring this up, of course, and where I'm going with this, is I think we should continually and always start with fresh, with new, creative thoughts, regardless of what our results have been, say positive or negative. Of course, take it for what it's worth, and we always want to live in the now, and if you get a result, positive or negative, whatever it may be, learn the lesson from that result. But of course, once it's passed and gone, that result, that's in the past. And what I'm suggesting, of course, is to continually start fresh, to start new here with positive thoughts, to focus on what you want, to focus on your goals, and not focus on what you've got in the past, and allow that to dictate what you're looking at moving forward. So, don't operate vis-a-vis what you see. Know that everything that that you see in the physical world, that's a result. That's already been here and gone. That's a result. Focus more on the roots. Focus on the roots, as Harv Eker would say. Focus on the roots here, not the fruits, because once the fruit on the the apple on the tree is let's say it's a rotten piece of apple that's produced on the tree, you can't do anything with it. It's done. It's in the past. Continue to focus on these roots. Focus on, as I mentioned, creating fresh, creative and positive, most importantly positive thoughts here, and allow that to drive your experience moving forward. Focus on what you want, focus on what your goals, focus on those goals, and allow that to drive once again then your feelings and your actions and your results. And when you get those results, as always, take the lesson or the tidbit from it, but then immediately disregard that and continue to move on. Your thoughts, they're unlimited. Your thinking, your creative power, it's unlimited in nature. So, all I can stress is, don't allow your past to dictate your future. Create your own future with positive thoughts. Learn and let go from the past. Don't let that, the reality of your present results, or even, the present resources that you have in front of you, to dictate, your thinking. I think it was maybe a motivational type of video that I saw on YouTube some time ago with Will Smith. It was fantastic, and he mentioned, talking about doing the illogical, or doing, the unrealistic. And he mentioned, at the time of the Wright brothers, as far as flying a plane, that was unrealistic. That was illogical. That shouldn't be normal thinking. And if we were focusing and they were focusing on results, or maybe what's logical or what's realistic, it wouldn't have happened. With Edison and the light bulb, the idea, I think, to walk into a room and to flick a switch and for lights to go on, that's pretty unrealistic. At that time that the invention came about, that is an unrealistic type of idea. So continue to think big. Of course, believe big. Think big, believe big. The whole shtick here of what I'm getting at is to think big, to think bigger than your environment, to think bigger than the resources, or the results that you've had in the past. Think bigger than what your senses are telling you, or what reason even kind of tells you. And don't play small. Think big, but more importantly, believe it. Have true, illogical God faith. Just truly wrap your arms and embrace that belief, regardless of what your senses tell you, regardless of what reason tells you. Think big and believe it, and you're going to make a change. You're going to enjoy life a heck of a lot more, rather than living by what the world deems realistic, or what the world thinks you should perhaps be doing. So that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. By all means, any questions, concerns, please drop me a few lines down here in a comment or whatnot. Love to hear your thoughts, and I'll look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Take care. All the best.